Happy anniversary, everybody. Yeah. Did I mention this is the 500th episode of Countdown to the Closing Bell? Yes, it is. And we have some major market movers dropping by in the next hour. Perfect day for Steve Leuthold, the Chief Investment Officer of Leuthold Capital, coming up in a Fox Business exclusive, along with Steve Forbes, the CEO of Forbes and Editor-in-Chief of Forbes magazine, and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group Executive Chair, Terry Duffy, another Fox Business exclusive. We will talk to all of these world leaders in finance about their perspectives regarding everything from the Greece situation to, of course, derivatives to financial regulation to the U.S. dollar. Peter Barnes, thank you. Well, when it comes to crafting a winning market strategy, my next guest, over the long term, has made all the right moves. Take a look at the long-term performance of his flagship core investment fund, which has surged more than 166% in the past 10 years. Compare that to the S&P, which has fallen over that same period of time 1.9%. 6 months ago, he said right here on Fox Business to go long the dollar because that's what he was doing. If you followed his advice, you'd be taking advantage of the euro's 14-month lows today against the greenback. Joining me now exclusively for the last hour of trade, I'm honored to say, is Steve Leuthold, the founder and chief investment officer of Leuthold Capital Management, $4.5 billion in assets. You don't do so poorly, do you?
No, not bad. Not bad for a guy from Minnesota.
Exactly. You know, it's the purists right there. Right. From the Midwest, you got it right. Well, I have to bring you up to speed, at least get our viewers up to speed on what you feel about all that's going on in Europe, because, of course, it was months ago here that you said, I got a feeling, go long the dollar, and you were right.
Well, I think that there's the whole idea of the euro, when it was put together, was probably doomed to fail eventually, because you have too many different countries with too many different cultural backgrounds, you have too many different economies, and there has been one other instance where we saw a multinational currency, and that was in the Scandinavian countries, and it was over 100 years ago, and that failed. That lived about 5 years. So I think there'll be a change here, so you'll have the strong countries that probably would retain the euro, but I think some of them are going to be cut loose, and I think Greece, for instance, would love to be cut loose. The people would.
So they could start printing their own money again.
Right.
Well, that's just a fake solution, though. But who else? You say the euro is doomed to fail and that some countries should or will be jettisoned. Which other countries?
I think it'll take a while, but you'll have, when you look at the differences culturally between, say, Germany and France, which are two of the powers here, that is not going to... They're not going to be able to get along forever. And all the rules that we put together for the euro, like your deficit can be no more than 3% of GDP and all of this, they all went out the window in 2002, 2003.
Well, are you most worried about Spain or Portugal next? And I keep hearing Italy thrown in there.
Oh, I think the Italians are certainly sound money people, aren't they?
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember how many thousand liras or something for like one tiny little, chiclet.
No, I don't know who would be next, but I do think there'll be others and that do want to run their own affairs, that get sick and tired of having someone dictate to them, and they'd rather run the printing press.
Okay, let's get to predictions, because your last one, when you were here on Fox Business, had viewers listened and went long the dollar. Boy, they would have been in the money, certainly, particularly over the past couple of months. What are you doing now to position your clients' portfolios? What are you long?
Well, we are long. We've reduced equity exposure the last part of April, but we're still 61, 62% in equities. Our high water mark is 70, so we're down from there. But we also have been trying to emphasize fixed income to a greater degree, but we can't find much that's interesting. So we have hedged part of our fixed income with shorts on long treasuries and zeros.
Wait, do you like hard assets like gold? I remember you used to like gold.
Well, I still like gold. I still have some I bought at $255.
Oh, nice. See, this is the guy to listen to. Right, here we are above 1,000.
We'd buy more gold on a setback. We're 4% right now in the funds in terms of gold and silver, primarily gold.
It's a good enough chunk. Steve Leuthold is with us the whole hour with some really smart investment ideas coming up. Well, the closing bell will ring in 50 minutes. We're going to hit the trading floors next. A very busy day then.
Worst of it right now, so you're looking at the bottom. I'm looking up from here.
Well, Steve Leuthold has always known how to make bets through good times and bad. In fact, up 166% over the past 10 years in all his vicissitudes. Steve, you're putting a big portion of your portfolio and your client's portfolio in what you call the top 10 tech.
Yes, we are. These are the big tech companies, the 10 biggest. We think that the companies are in a wonderful position, both in terms of the cash that they have available for acquisitions, and I think they're also, the products are really in need, as we've seen capital expenditures for electronics and technology stuff really almost go through the roof. I think up 18–19%.
And you and I were talking that one of the best performers on the Dow today is Walmart, which is now...
Well, Walmart that's another area that we're involved with, which is the consumer electronics, both retailers and also the manufacturers, which is probably our second biggest group holding. But Walmart, which isn't in that category, is probably the biggest competitor in terms of televisions and other electronics work.
Yeah, it's how you have to really look in the back door at things like that.
That's right. That's right. Best Buy doesn't have it all alone. Someone in our office found this picture.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think this picture... This was before 500 shows here.
Oh, yeah.
And,
in fact, this is Columbus, Ohio. My first on-air market, WSYX, Action 6 News.
Action 6.
Oh, my gosh. Can you believe that? I sent that to somebody in your office, one of your colleagues, Doug.
Well, you autographed it to Doug. Doug Ramsey is his name.
We look a little different, don't we? Yeah, the hair. Yeah, I did. Oh, my goodness. That is too funny. Yeah,
you look terrific.
Thank you. Well, back then, Channel 6 News, I think our motto was first at 6, correct at 11. Local news. That was it. That's where it all began. And here we are on our 500th show here at Fox Business. Thank you, Steve, very much. We'll see you in a bit. Steve Leuthold, the man standing next to me, has a 5-year return of 68% by sitting up in Maine with a fax machine and a television. I hope on Fox Business.
Oh, yes.
He loves Imus, watches Imus in the morning.
Yes, I do.
But give us your big picture here for the markets. And I know you're kind of guys really very much a long-term outlook, and that's worked very well for you.
Well, we look at the market as it's guesstimates how far things are going. Setting targets is kind of silly. We do a discipline called our major trend index, and if that work turns to the negative side, we get defensive. I'm not going to tell you how far up it's going to go because we can't really tell anybody how far it's going to go or how far down, and anybody that says they can is a liar.
But his biggest bet is in consumer electronics and top 10 tech in this country now, and he's, what, about 60% equities now.
Yeah, and my biggest concern is that great big giant deficit that we have sitting out there and how we're going to address that.
Go talk to Steve Forbes in the green room there about that. So nice to have you. Thank you very much.
Liz, it's a pleasure.
Steve Leuthold of Leuthold Whedon. We'll see you next time. Tomorrow on Countdown to the Closing Bell, a Fox Business exclusive with the CEO of Hotwire.com.